Okay, we are back, and vetoes are almost done. For those who want to know how vetoes are being handled for today, it is just going to be vetoing down to one, or excuse me, map selection. They're vetoing down to one, and then it's going to be losers pick beyond that. But as said, this is a brand new series, a brand new tournament, a brand new everything. I know we're doing these back to back, but this is separate from what we just finished casting. And ByuN versus herO will be a best of 7 TVP. Should be pretty good. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about the match arena page for this one. It's a bit different than normal. There's the codes and everything you can use, !YORD, !JORD in chat. We'll link you to it. You can add $1 to the prize pool by adding using the code YORD as well for just, again, $1 extra to the prize money. But there's a cool experimentation with this. So there's two websites I'm going to show off while they finish vetoes and we wait. And you can hear the weird little ding. But here's our landing page for the YORD website. You've seen this before, I'm sure. It's the woodwatches.com/base. There's a Father's Day sale going on. We're trying to see whether you guys want to buy some watches for Father's Day. It's an excellent gift. These are classy looking watches. In fact, to show some off real quick. The winner of this show match is going to get a watch, which is awesome. Their selection. There's that annoying ding. They're not that expensive, actually. They've lowered a lot of the prices on these. And yeah, here's the one I have, the Obsidian, or the dark sandalwood. But there's a lot of good looking watches. They're fancy, they're nice. The wood lasts. I mean, Zomgrove and I have had ours for years at this point, and they're quite good quality products. But while you can get 15% off of the Father's Day sale, as long as you purchase it, most importantly, before the 13th, I believe it is, it'll guarantee shipping times to hit there before Father's Day, so you can gift wrap it yourself. But they come in these really nice boxes, and they're packaged very well. However, I mentioned the match arena page is a little bit different for two different reasons. One, if you guys are hyped for DreamHack Atlanta, you can get tickets for 20% cheaper than the DreamHack website for both general attendance as well as player admission. So if you come into DreamHack Atlanta, buy your tickets through Match Arena. You'll get them for cheaper. Plus, it'll add money to the prize pool, and plus, of course, you're saving money. However, there's some experimental codes. I talked them into trying for this. They didn't really want to use any codes. It was just going to be like a once-off show match, do a little promo, have a good time. However, you'll notice there's a $150 discount code, which you can purchase for $100 off. So let's say you're going to go for a Father's Day watch. Well, 15% of some of these watches is not very much. If you want to save $50, however, buy this promo code. This will save you $50 on the watch. It'll put money towards the prize pool. It'll put money towards the mega tournament fundraiser, and everybody wins. So you'll save some money with each of these discount codes. There's some available for $50, $35 for a $50 code. And again, I have no idea. Maybe none of these will get purchased today, but I think it's a cool concession considering there weren't going to be a bunch of giveaways this time. There weren't going to be a bunch of freebies this time, so kind of neat for YORD to be willing to experiment with that, and we'll see how it goes. Cool. But we have the maps selected, so I don't need to buy any more time. Yay!
Good job.
As we'll be starting off on Ascension to AIUR. So again, it's a brand new best of 7. This is totally unrelated to the BTSL. And it's just a straight up show match.
Right. So losers pick after this.
Yeah.
Hopefully all 7 maps.
Oh, I'm going to have to move stuff on here. I don't actually have the YORD sponsor thing. They didn't send me the graphics I'd requested, so...
Oh.
I guess I'll have to go find that. Or find something to use later. We'll just go with this for now. We'll worry about it on the commercial break. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is not wrong. Match Arena is providing $100 worth of codes to pump up that prize pool. We're already at $275, which is awesome. Twitch supports us in a big way, so we'll leave the logo up for now. We'll find the YORD one in a moment. But this is a best of 7 that kicks off here in the bottom right side with a Terran player we haven't seen a lot of lately, but I know I've still got a lot of love for. It is the Red Terran ByuN.
In the top left, as the blue Protoss, it is herO.
All right, so herO is somebody I've got a lot of love for, too. In fact, I couldn't be happier than these two fighting off against one another. ByuN has kind of fallen from grace as far as being like the untouchable player of godlyhood. You'll notice he's actually been knocked out of a couple of tournaments, right? Feels bad, man, if you're a ByuN fan. But when you watch him ladder, when you watch him play, he almost never disappoints. So even when losing, ByuN's a very fun player to cast and a very fun player to watch. But yo, I can see almost all of the exact same things for herO, minus the streaming part.
Yeah, he doesn't stream that often. That's certainly true. Or he doesn't stream nearly as long when he does stream as ByuN. That's certainly for true. But he did win a couple of important tournaments, but yeah, has been knocked out from most of the ones that are happening right now. But I flippin' love watching this guy. I mean, I love watching ByuN. He's a very impressive Terran player because his micro can just be godly. Of course, everyone, like, the macro and stuff is cool too, but his micro is awesome to watch. But herO just is, like, Protoss shenanigans to the extreme. I really learned to love it, and even if he doesn't, he has some really sick macro games too. It's just that if he loses with one, he's like, fuck that shit, and, like, goes back to cheesing,
right?
Which is amazing.
I feel like it's like the equivalent of the fetal position. Like, you get someone starts beating the crap out of you, so you just, like, assume the fetal position.
Except, I feel like the fetal position is literally just like what's I don't know, like a defensive for like stat to do, right? Just be like, well, I guess I'll just hold up in my main base and like not do anything now because I'm super scared. He's like that type of person that you attack thinking they're gonna be like a wimp, but they're actually crazy. Like, they'll actually shank you with like a butter knife, and you're like, shit. Oh, I didn't expect that.
Like
That's
a crazy nerd strength you don't even know about.
Exactly. You know, like you see some people that you think you're stronger, but you like look at them and you're like, you got a wild side, like, dude, you got crazy eyes.
No, you know who's actually Tempo? Tempo fits that description of the build pretty well, because he's a dude who doesn't look strong. He looks skinny, but then you realize like he's actually buff and crazy good.
He's
and, like,
yeah.
Scary dude. He's a wily mother trucker.
Yeah, it's more like you like don't think he's that strong, and he lifts like a car, and you're like, oh shit. All right then, he's actually crazy strong. Anyways, talking enough about people's strengths and maybe a little bit weird territory. An Adept comes forward here. Just an Adept. It's going to be followed up with a Stargate, but not anything too cheesy. And ByuN doesn't have to worry about a lot, actually. There's a Mothership core on the way, but no pylon. And, well, it does dodge the Widow Mine successfully.
For now.
Yeah, ByuN tried to be clever with it. Thought that the attack would be coming in one place, and I think that's usually the case.
This is actually a really great use of Marines, though. This would have otherwise, like, the Mothership could have actually killed a lot more lives if he didn't dodge and leave the way he did. So, great control so far. But as he picks up to go, he doesn't grab the second Widow Mine, I guess intentionally. All right. Concession is that it's like one extra Marine, but that extra Marine is almost dead. It's in the red inside the medevac.
I hope that's the Marine that he ends up microing.
There's no medical supplies inside the medevac. What? It's ByuN. He's the exact guy who would have that clip on Reddit of that exact thing happening, right?
Exactly. Everyone watched this one Marine. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Why would they have medical supplies on a medevac? Only the chick in the driver's seat can control the laser beam. Okay?
I was gonna say,
like,
they're on the outside. Oh, he also does the thing where you unload without healing, which is a bit of a shocking thing. But that one Marine, like, I don't remember which one it is now.
I do. I have my eye on it. It's fully healed now. Oh,
well, not for long.
It's never gonna happen again. Oh, no, it was that one that popped out.
We'll pretend it's the one that's living. Nope, never mind. They're all dead.
No, they're all dead. Didn't happen. All right, well.
Well defended out of herO, though.
Yeah, I mean, he had a Stargate, and that was always going to be a little bit risky for ByuN to do. He had nothing else distracting. It was just, like, into the main base. And all it did was scout that it was a Stargate and that it was third base. I mean, that is important intel, especially nowadays where that isn't a guarantee. Maybe a month or two ago, there's, like, what else is new? But there's Blink openers. There's even Colossus openers again. Racist Colossus openers. And there's Are
we really going to make that a thing? Are we just going to continue to make that a thing?
Yeah, apparently. But then, yeah, there's actually a ton of openers, is my point. So this is actually kind of a throwback, if anything. And now the extra question is going to be, what is it going to be following up into? Because that could be either more Phoenixes and Adepts, which is a very old way of playing, or more, like, updated would be the Blink, but even more updated than that is the Charge. So that's what he was doing.
ByuN, can you use some cool skins, please? Not even for the sake of using skins, but just to counteract herO's Guy Fieri stalkers, please.
They're avoiding eggs and thinking everything is delicious. Sky Fury in a suit.
There's actually Fear Dragon, I think, had some discussion going about that on Twitter. I chimed in a little bit where it's unfortunate, like, a lot of people want to see Blizzard advertise like war chests when they finally come out and all these skins, but the problem is every major tournament, like, they have rules where you have to disable custom skins. Not that you have the option to or players could request to, but you must. And a lot of those, it kind of sucks because, I don't know, I feel like the most eyes are going to be glued to like BlizzCon mainstream and they're not going to be showing the default. When really I want them to show so badly the cool new Viking skin. Like there's no confusing what that unit is. It's straight up just badass looking.
Yeah, I understood their fears because the Lings honestly made it look like there was more Lings, but even then, like I feel like it wasn't as bad as everyone was fearing it would be. And considering that their first skin was years ago, I think the test phase has been over and done with. I think we can all mostly safely say that it wouldn't actually impact the players, but oh well. We're not in charge.
No. Widowmine's, oh, this could be so sick. He could actually catch the Warp Prism with this if he really wanted to, but he just decides to float on past. Both players 2 ships in the night, but herO, fully aware of what was coming, positions Phoenix ready to intercept.
Yeah. Well, that's the trick. I think herO has units that are going to do easier to multi-pronged attacks than ByuN does. And ByuN has reinforcements, of course, but not much else.
Well, another thing to talk about, excuse me, wasn't kind of discussed. Charge being the priority here. A lot of Zealots just warped in, plus Zealots being dropped.
Yeah.
Charge lots really, with the cost reduction, I didn't think would make them have such a big powerhouse resurgence, but really every matchup we're seeing Charge and Zealots be the priority.
I think Charges were already being experimented with a little bit before the patch. That could have been in preparation of the patch, of course. That does happen, but they experimented a little bit, but now they're just cool. I was gonna note actually that both of these guys, ByuN has good vision. Widowmine's the top still that he left behind. Missile turrets every which way. But herO has even better vision.
As I say, herO doesn't need glasses. ByuN does.
You don't know. Maybe herO's farsighted.
Thank you, Barry Fun, for that Twitch Prime sub. Glad to have you on board. ByuN, though, has to get up here. He's actually already out of position for this in a wild and unfortunate way. The Widowmine gets a decent shot, but he's going to need every Widowmine going off on these Zealots more so than anything else. The ByuN will catch this off guard, though, and this will cause herO to fall back. However, those are Phoenix, not more Zealots. I thought he had a Zealot run by setup down there.
GK. That's 8 more Stalkers. Not quite with +1 or Blink on the way, though. ByuN's going to have still an upgrade lead. I think he's fine defensively, but herO is poking and prodding and testing and still transitioning back at home.
Well, I was going to say, transitioning and expanding, too.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, couldn't watch that Widowmine. But I mean, this is actually so many Stalkers that if ByuN gets psyched out, like those could technically kill the command center. I don't think it's going to happen, though. So herO eventually will have to leave. Like, he might overstay his welcome.
Well, or he can just go overstay his welcome elsewhere. You're like, we need you to leave the house. Okay, let's go stay in the guest house.
Yeah. But ByuN deals with this very well. I mean, this is a very easy split, actually, as long as you don't have everything on one hotkey.
I think one of the key things behind this, though, and I find this really interesting, is herO's not going for a lot of storms. He's not getting Archons behind this. And normally, like, you're like, oh, well, you're wasting all these Zealots. Who cares? It's just minerals. You save gas by doing so. Nothing he's doing is really gas dependent. So I almost don't like it.
Yeah, it's okay. And by the way, when I said easy, I mean, like, the easiest way to do it is what ByuN did. Just mostly leave your Widowmines and Liberators in one place and everything else and really elsewhere.
Yeah.
But anyways, the Phoenix still live. Actually, gonna catch a couple of medevacs that are floating way too far away from the bio.
This is actually really important, too, because he made so many Liberators this game, there is not an abundance of medevacs to lose. He was sitting there on that strict, like, 4 count. Now he's down to 2. Another big warp in from that same Warp Prism. It wasn't quite cleaned up, so a little bit of health, but still enough to get in here. And more Zealots going to cause havoc and chaos.
Liberator's going to try and take that out. Can't even do that.
You know, trading Zealots for add-ons is actually totally worth it, in my opinion, especially when you consider what ByuN's doing.
I think herO is doing something that's worth it just because he's pulling ByuN apart.
17
There's always
workers,
that fear.
18 workers.
Yeah, there's always that fear that you dedicate too much, you know, whether it's Adepts or Charge Lots or anything, that you dedicate too much and you get attacked and you're screwed. But, I mean, ByuN is still on the other side of the map, only just trying to move forward. He's always got to recollect all these units that have been rallied to different places. herO has such superb flippin' vision. Like, I've actually never seen herO with such good map presence.
Actually, just
or
to
anyone,
show you guys,
really.
I'm looking at his vision only right now, and he can see almost everything.
Even like a Zerg player.
No. Oh,
who
he's
has
paying
like
attention.
cheap lings won't have this much. This is insane.
Yeah, and that's plus creeps or plus overlords. But yo, this warp prism managed with good micro juke out the units that are waiting for it. ByuN thought, there's no way I'll have to worry about another warp, and like I'll kill that warp prism no problem. He takes a fight in the middle of the map, but there's disruptors with this too. And this zealot force in the main is actually killing barracks. It's straight up killing production.
Yeah, he has to choose, focus entirely on the fight or mess up on the fight and then lose, you know, try and save things back at home. So he's just dedicating entirely to the fight up front.
He lost his space. Command center's going to go down.
GG.
Bravo, herO. Game number 1 going to go to our protest to that one. Nice. Of course, best of 7. It's too early to call anything in any direction. There's a lot of different ways this could go. But we will be placing commercial breaks between games, guys, because as you can tell, we're already pretty tired from the first cast, but very excited, very happy to be casting this one. So small break, game 2, ABYSSAL REEF, when we get back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching that break. I'm not going to be doing them every game, by the way, unless the game's going exceptionally long. It'll probably be like one every 2 or so, but we had a lot of downtime from the previous tournament going to this one. I just want to squeeze that in there before I got too far into it, but we are getting into it. It's game number 2 in this best of 7 Yord show match. Again, type !Yord and join us there on the Match Reno page, guys, because we need your help using up all the coupon codes that we possibly can. The code, of course, is JORD, just all caps like that. I don't think caps matters. And you'll add $1 to the prize pool. We could make this up to $350 even if nobody buys any watches and no one contributes anything else, just with the codes alone. So let's get these guys as much money as we possibly can for today. Spawning in the bottom right, though, we do have the red Terran player, ByuN, down 1 game at the moment.
And the top left, as the blue Protoss, he is Root's herO.
And just to address the topic of the watches, I forgot to go grab a logo. Crap. Some people are saying like, oh yeah, it's like way too expensive. Like, why would I want a $300 watch? And like, that's fine. That means it's not for you. But these watches are really, really nice. And so far, of the ones we've sold, not like we've sold like thousands of watches or anything, right? But from the ones we have been able to sell, we've only heard positive feedback from people. So I don't know, for whatever that's worth, if you're on the fence, hopefully that means something. Because they've been able to sell enough watches through us that not only could they fund the Civil War and many show matches in the past, that we could make this happen today.
They're quite nice. I bought them for my dad and my mom and I think my brother too. I think they're nice enough for like the catch-all gift. But people think I'm biased, I suppose. I liked mine, but I left it at home.
Yeah,
That's one thing, is that they're quite fancy, so I don't really want to like have it bumping around in my luggage a lot.
Yeah, they're not incredibly fragile either, but the first time I left mine in luggage, I didn't like wrap it in a sock or anything, so the watch face got broken. But yo, and this isn't to shill, this is actually kind of cool. They had no problem fixing that for me. Like, I got that sorted real quick.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so herO, playing a macro game, decides that might be an okay thing to do, so plays another macro game. So far. This guy has tricks of all different bases: 1 base, 2 base, 3 base all-ins, and maybe even then some.
And both players as well are dangerously willing to proxy, which is, I think, terrifying as well. So that's why ByuN, with his Reaper, like, it's one thing to look for a probe that may or may not be doing pylons, right? But it's another to make sure that there's not a Stargate right next to your main.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the thing is, for this Reaper, you know, it's scouting for the probe, it can't see if the Nexus is down. There might be a second probe. There might even be a third probe, putting on a Stargate, as you were saying, because that's what herO can do if he really wants to cheese you out. If he sees an opportunity, sure, he'll go for it, like many other Protosses. But he also is so cheesy that he actually will dedicate, like, those, like, you know, Gold League players you guys play. But he'll make it work because his micro is excellent. He'll lose 4 probes and be like, nah, I'm gonna make this work. Try it again.
Here's that guy who could, like, take a punch to the face and he just stands there. Like, it doesn't phase him.
Yeah, that's him in StarCraft, so give a lot of credit to this guy. Mothership Core really wants to see what's happening, but as a lot of Terran builds are, it's going to be a Would of Mine drop. There is, of course, the chance they're going for a tank follow-up. Oh, not worse.
That was a really good pickup for ByuN.
Yeah, that was pretty bad for him, actually. I was going to say is that they could go for a tank swap, but I don't think they'd actually do that quite yet. So, like, even then, I wonder about the Mothership Core scouting. Oh well. Dark Shrine. Where's he putting that? Where's he putting that? Oh, it's scouted.
Yeah.
That was unfortunate.
Oh, it cancels it though. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, starting at Blink too. I like Blink in terms of being able to catch a lot of drops. It's not really. We don't see Blink be that aggressive of a thing anymore. God knows I'm still haunted by maps like Polar Night and Blink All-In's on said map, but long since then. And good defensive tools for catching medevacs.
So herO's just gonna go for Blink, and he does have very good Blink control. He can apply pressure. He can, read the situation pretty well, and that's going to be kind of key here because his opener wasn't so great. He lost his Mothership Core. It is going to be kind of like ByuN's chance to control the game, unless the Blink Stalkers can actually be, well, the determining factor. Like, they actually be controlled well, blinked well, and comboed well with his Warp Prism. They're
so cute. It's like a cat that thinks it's human. It tries to shoot the Warp Prism down.
It's like a cat trying to, like, take on an airplane. It's like, I got this. It's like a bird, right? It's like a big bird.
It's the bird that throws itself in the jet engine saying, I'll take this plane down.
It just needs like 50 of its friends. It's a cyclone. That's a cyclone exactly. Some double-pronged harassment's actually really starting to chew herO up here.
Yeah, initially this actually didn't land to do much, but the Marine Micro to dodge out some of the probes was sick.
This is complicating things. herO needed his Warp Prism to not just do more damage, which would have been ideal, but also at least to be a threat. Instead, it was pushed off, not by the Cyclone necessarily, but it was scouted by the Cyclone and then pushed off by the Marines. And now his own base is under attack, and will still be, because he doesn't have very easy means of defending against it. He didn't go for a Stargate this time. Oh, it's going to combo. Harsh. I mean, herO could get amazing shots with the Warp Prism Micro with this Disruptor that's on the way, and that would be sweet, but it is
this was
not likely.
This was really tempting to go for that medevac, but it was risky because it did let the Liberators set up now.
Yeah, I think this is the right move. Tough decision. Whoa, your voice got roboting. Well, while he fixes that, yeah, I think that was an okay decision. Now, but still, like, I think herO's in a tough spot because Disruptors might do some damage, fine, but he's only on Blink with no upgrades. Like, these Disruptors might get a great shot, but if they don't, then just Blink is not that impressive. ByuN is still working towards... not bad. Makes up for the attack earlier. So barely scouts... okay, also barely scouts the tanks, which I'm surprised that ByuN ended up making, by the way. I kind of mentioned he could swap into tanks, but they seemed kind of late. But he still wanted to get them, so alright then. They will be very effective against Blink Stalkers, especially if they get any, like, more than one shot on them. SCV's going down once again. These Disruptors are already getting this value that I did not expect. I mean, one good shot, yes, but the second one, I think ByuN was going to be paying attention, and he wasn't, and that's just unfortunate. Observer has eyes on the Liberator, make sure it doesn't do any damage. herO finally gets to third base. I was feeling a little, like, hesitant to say herO could do a good job this game because, well, he hadn't killed 12 SCVs yet, and his third base was so late. Yes, that's better. The medevac is cleaned up in the main base. Nicely done. This medevac drop is being responded to.
Okay, and I should have controlled the camera back now too. Sorry about that, guys. Hiccups happen.
Attempting to snipe the Sentry gets a medevac. Oh, almost sniped. Here's +1.
That's in the cherry red. Meanwhile, other side of the map, Disruptors kind of go crazy. We come back just in time to see it explode a whole mineral line. Not all the SCVs, but a good chunk of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, total, he brings up to like 23 SCVs killed. He started off with 0, and within a span of a minute, he managed to make up his probe losses and then some. It's a bit of a bad fight here with, again, just plain Stalkers, but he's on his way to Colossus, which is at least something. Usually it'd feel nicer if there was 2 Colossus and +1, but at least it's some splash. Oh, 5 missile turret.
I always forget that Disruptors can hit buildings. I don't know why. It's not intuitive.
No, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of with you in that, and I'm also not sure why. Maybe they couldn't at one point in time in the beta? I don't... Well, it doesn't matter. They can, and they destroy missile turret. They come back as well, and I don't know if the shots they need. There they go.
It's really dangerous. He unloaded those directly in front of Marauders. Like, those could have potentially been focused down.
I imagine he was hoping they would be focused a little bit, so he could just pick them up.
This is like a Dave Chappelle Colossus.
What?
You ever see that skit where he plays like the black blind racist guy who doesn't know that he's black?
Oh my god. I was wondering where you're going with that. I was like, are we still on the racist thing? What is going on? That's pretty good. This is a nice concave, but it's not. Oh, the back attack from the disruptors would have been so cool. Not that cool though.
This still ends up working. Like, herO not only like makes Colossus work, he defeats the army rather handily. And for ByuN, like, he's starting to pump out Vikings now, but yo, he needs medevacs again. He needs a second starport. He needs a lot of production. He needs a lot of things. He needs third
and these
base
disruptors
mining.
are still alive. He's gotten so many SCVs. They've been a big factor. Like, ByuN, I think if he hadn't lost 23 SCVs, already has a command center that's, like, saturated, right? And that's a lot more production to follow up on a pretty even trade like that. At least it's already a second starport, right? So that's a big deal. These disruptors have been pretty gold. We've seen him do disruptor drops before, by the way. I'm not just basing this disruptor drop play off of, like, I don't know, Foreigner or something like that. Like, herO's done disruptor drops before, and sometimes they're good, and then I feel like the last time I saw them, they were actually not good at all. They died to, like, a Widowmine. So that's why I was a little hesitant to believe in them, but they certainly have proven me wrong.
That is the problem, though, right? Like, they are incredibly volatile in many different ways, and one of them is that sometimes they can be shut down very easily. That's a lot of Marauders. This is enough to run on top of the Colossus if there wasn't that threat of disruptors. But ByuN is the type of guy who can micro through splits. We'll see how he handles this. A lot of these Marauders are incredibly low, though.
Okay, he goes to the CVs.
Good pull.
Right.
Complacency could have cost him a mineral line, but ByuN is on top of this. The low medevac count is a big part of why the stimmed army still hasn't been topped off. You know, it went straight to Vikings.
3 Colossus with not much of an answer.
Now, the spread, though, is not bad. A lot of Marauders, but they're so low. Man, if this is a fully healed army, this may be a different fight entirely, but there's just no chance. He's got to pull the SCVs to soak the hits. The Marauders' health is so valuable and so low. I think herO's crushing it. Oh, especially with that shot he is. Oh, my God. Someone call 911.
So expensive. Lordy. I was going to say, herO also finally built his mothership core where maybe there could be a drop every... somewhere. He's already on 4th base. He's finally catching up in upgrades too. I think his ground army does it, even without the Colossus. So these Vikings aren't even that instrumental.
Oh, he's picking up and microing the Colossus away from the Viking shots too. Or he wasn't one of them. Maybe not both of them.
The Stalkers really aren't that well upgraded. They're not +2, but their army was so weak that he even blinks forward. Oh, okay. I didn't think he was going to do that, but damn. He saw an opportunity and he rolled with it. The Warprism dies. The last shot of that Viking, that's kind of nice, but not enough.
I don't know. Like, this is kind of crazy. Like, that one Colossus is a really big deal. The Stalkers alone would eventually be broken by Marauder production. I mean, ByuN's up straight creek because of the workers, but GG. That was a scrappy as hell final engagement.
Yeah, it was. But herO's 2-0, man.
Not a bad start. Hopefully not going to be a 4-0 by any means, but yeah, no one's taking advantage of the discount codes yet, and that's totally fine. No one's bought any Mancherino, I guess, bonus products to like DreamHack tickets either or anything like that. But what I would love, again, we have thousands of people tuning in. We only need to use 100 codes. So use the code JORD on the website to donate $1 to the prize pool, and let's get these guys some extra cash for their troubles. That being said, let's hope ByuN can bring it back. I would be very sad if we had such a sick Scarlet Stats series to lead into a show match that these, like, you know, 4-0. I don't have any problems with it. I would just be sad is all.
Well, yeah. I really thought ByuN and herO would be quite equally matched for each other. Maybe herO has always had ByuN's number.
It's funny, actually. There were both some backstory to this. A little reluctant to take the show match after I told them who they'd be fighting. Like, each of them was both like, type thing.
I don't know. Wow.
So I really, truly don't think either of them came into this with like, yeah, this is easy money. But I guess to explain the prize pool split too, it's 55-35. And you might be wondering, Rifkin, that doesn't add up to 100. Why not? Oh, well, hold on. We'll tell this story in a moment, ladies and gentlemen, because in this best of 7, he might be down 2 games, but he's looking to bring it back with some downright dirty play. In the upper left, With an SCV leaving the base immediately, it's none other than the blue Terran, ByuN.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, so the very quick probe scout is herO.
Oh, it's to touch up on the missing numbers. Oh no,
Where you
no way.
going? Where you going? Oh,
This is cool. Oh, he wasn't going to go to the watchtower.
Okay, well, more importantly, herO didn't scout it, but he's going to scout the lack of a barracks in the main base anyways, so.
Right, so timing here should be like the first Reaper gets a couple of probe kills. ByuN is also the type of guy to proxy literally everything. We see Joxy do it, we see Gumiho do it. It's clearly something that does work versus Protoss. By the way, last point to wrap up there too, so it doesn't look like I'm dodging it. 10% of the prize pool will be going towards the Mega Tournament fundraiser, and so will it be for most things going forward. This was in our patch notes that we posted publicly recently, as well as we've talked about it for about half a month leading into this. So players were made aware of it ahead of time. It's clearly outlined on the prize pool, and I just don't want people to think we're being skeevy or anything like that.
You're right. So herO knows what's up. He is going to respond to it as well. Like, the only way he can't respond to it is if he literally went for Nexus first, which I don't think any Protoss do versus Terran. So, yeah, it's on the Medic score, other gas, Zealot.
Yeah, so, I mean, for those who don't know, what he has seen is a lack of things, and that's more than enough for him to say, I need to take this appropriately. The thing is, though, the Zealot normally isn't so hot, but the pylon really limits where the Reaper can hop up here, so the Zealot should be able to get some hits on it. And if nothing else, just soak the damage.
Not to mention the Mothership core, like, literally just kills it no matter what if it tries to get anywhere close. So, that, I was going to say, that would be obviously surprising if it just blocked him out entirely. Still pretty cool, though.
Yeah, this will buy the appropriate amount of time necessary. As long as, because I think the goal is, like, this Reaper is supposed to get in here and get anywhere between 2 and 4 probes and buy time. But,
yeah.
Yeah, some pulls here, right. Grenades there. herO microing away the low health probes, so he only loses like 2 so far.
Now the Reaper might die. Regen.
Actually, he can get out through the back.
That's right. Clever.
This is cool. I like the micro out of herO. I love what ByuN's doing as well. He brought the SCV around to a completely weird other spot. The factory went down at home, but the starport is still going to come down in proxy, not where herO's going to ever probably look for it.
I'm pretty sure this is the safest way you can continue to be aggressive on one base. The starport proxy to not the factory, I think, is more common. It's also safer, because if they were trying to attack you, if they had a Stargate on the way, then that factory's at home producing a Widow Mine or a Cyclone, instead of out in the middle of the map ready to attack, and that can get all types of goofy. It's really seen it happen before.
So he kills the Zealot. The Adept comes in a little bit late. I don't think there's a lot of power with these Reapers anymore. But Reapers, we've seen so many times. Like you'll do like a drop or a Liberator or a Banshee or anything, and it catches someone off guard, and the Reapers sneak in while that action's going on. So I hope he doesn't give them away before then.
Funnily enough, despite ByuN being all up in herO's main and natural, hasn't scouted the front of the main, so he had no idea what tech there was for herO. He thought maybe there could be an Oracle.
Oh no!
Mister at home.
Yo, if that Banshee comes in, even if there's detection out, look at this pylon. Do you see anything wrong with it?
No, it's perfect.
Well, the issue I have is probably not the one a lot of people are thinking, but it's more that it doesn't cover the mineral line at all. That Banshee can sit there and hold position. The second pylon, which would normally go behind the mineral line, has been placed up here to deal with the Reapers. So this Banshee is actually going to be such a cool, I guess, utility?
Well, the thing is that if the Stalkers are at home, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
He's building Observer right now, too, realizing this is a possibility. But if they were picked up in the War Prison like he wanted to, and he is, then that's where it gets a little bit complicated. Let's see what the Banshee timing is exactly like. I think the Adept sees it in that natural. It's still just hanging out in the corner for some reason. So he knows. Why is the Adept in the corner? I hope he doesn't forget there's an Adept there.
I guess it's looking for anything that comes. I don't know.
I mean, it was perfect
I think it's
for the
complacency. I think it's like he's forgotten about it for sure.
Yeah, we'll see. It is perfect for this specific game. He's gotten his Stalkers to the other side of the map, and there's really nothing to defend against it. The Cyclone, of course, can defend. The Cyclone, sorry, can defend against the Stalkers, but the War Prism picks him up and continues to be that harassment. The Observer is out.
It's
and
there.
he kept both of them at home. There we go.
Still though, the Banshee is going to be microable and Should be able to get a bit more, but nope, the stalkers will drive it off for the time being. Other side of the map, of course, was cleaned up.
It looks like herO's going to go and do disruptor drops again, which I would really like. The Viking, if it is produced, is obviously in proxy. I don't know if he could tell there's no Widow Mines because he saw 2 Cyclones in a tank, but there aren't any Widow Mines. This could be really good, but the Banshee sneaks back in, man. A lot of kills.
I know, this Banshee got shut down really early and did almost nothing, but now it's on like almost 11 kills. Gets an 11th one on its death. 13 probe kills in total from this combined attack. Because the Reaper, of course, got a couple down here, right? Before it got cleaned up. Maybe these are bots repair? I don't know what that's about.
More scouting? I have no idea. These Stalkers seem so silly, but they can one-shot SCVs. And
don't make fun of the skinny season for them.
Oh, I will make fun of them. And they can even snipe a tank! Shit.
Sniping the tank is nice, but you know that Warp Prism's been taking a little bit of pepper here and there, so the lock-on's actually not that bad or crazy for once, and almost gets the Warp Prism. I mean, herO even started panic unloading the Stalkers. I don't think he even knew whether that was going to get out alive or not, but while the Disruptor drops are on the way, as you've mentioned, it is worth noting, so is that Warp Prism speed. So things like what we just saw, not likely to happen again. This Warp Prism's low, he definitely needs a new one.
I was gonna say, will he make a new one? You know, usually 200 minerals is, you know, it's whatever, but 2 bases, loss of a lot of probes. I don't think he really wants to try and afford one.
You're right. You know what? Timing as well is not going to dictate that he really can. This is
ByuN is moving forward. If he's caught in the middle of the map, that could be really good for herO.
Oh, this Raven. Auto turrets might be one thing.
Ow.
Oh, Jesus. Well,
that was really nice. That was super nice.
That was about as nice as it was going to go. He was making another Banshee. Did he cancel it? Or did it finish?
It's in the bottom right now.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is great. You know, like, you may have lost the army, but there's nothing to stop the probes from going at it. herO's now sub 30 probes. If ByuN can hold this attack in any capacity, not even well, but just hold it, he's still going to come out ahead, I think.
Okay, that died. Wait, was that the Warp Prism as well?
That was the Disruptor and the Warp Prism, both.
Damn, herO really miscontrolled that. I mean, he doesn't have quite stim quite yet. That's usually where the Stalkers are amazing, but he's gonna have stim in a second. Although no medevac, so every stim hurts.
Today I learned that an auto turret can block the Disruptor shot. I guess it's technically
it's
a building.
Structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he put that in the hole, and it wasn't big enough to plug the hole, but the Disruptor shot had to go around it. So this... Oh, that's really interesting, actually. I can't think there's going to be a situation where you can ever go Mass Raven versus Protoss. You know, just be foolish because of feedbacks. But it's kind of cool to know that in a pinch, you might be able to save some units throwing down the right auto turret.
Yeah. Well, that tank was maybe good enough, but the bunker is already pretty good, too. Marines just not get hit by the Disruptor, and they're fine.
Yeah, and to address this really quick, Niesco says, I purchased the BYOC ticket, but I only got a receipt so far. Can someone help me? I don't actually know the specifics of how they send it out. I think it's just through email, but if you tweet at Matcherino, I guarantee you that if they don't respond, I will reach out to them for you. Okay, dude? So just tweet at them asking what's going on, and if you don't get a response, I will look into it personally.
These Banshees, even just suiciding, have been doing so much work.
10 probes for that Banshee follow-up.
Yeah.
This Raven now, by the way, has enough energy for a point defense drone, so he can actually completely nullify these Stalkers from dealing damage. Like, if this blinks forward, if it's Warp Prismed on, the tank, you just throw it at a point defense drone, that tank lives.
Yeah. herO is trying to get to the gold base, though, which I do like. He'll have enough to saturate that with his main mining out soon, I guess.
Actually, I think that's a really big deal. Because of his low probe count, the gold base is more than ever not just appealing, but necessary.
Yeah. And he's still making his Stalkers work. I mean, it's dangerous because there is stim and they don't have blink yet, but neither one knows like each other's upgrade timings, and they're just letting each other play defensive or play aggressive. And herO's gaining a little bit of edges, and he still has a Warp Prism with a Disruptor that could get that one really nice hits, recovery, revenge for the probes. Not bad.
Yeah, 5. What's the kill count so far? 34 and 11. Jesus, the power of Chrono Boost. I know we want to talk about mules for Terran, but to consider where their worker count is right now versus what's been killed this game.
Yeah, and herO's going to have that gold base now, which, I mean, ByuN could eventually take. He might even have his plans, you know, there because his command center is kind of in that forward position. But, I don't know. I would say that ByuN should just have the better army. I mean, the bio does so well against stalkers, especially if they're not upgraded.
He's also at this number game, right, where even if the Disruptor gets a magical hit, there's still going to be just enough army left over, I feel. Also, the Banshees are finally being dealt with. Auto turret combined with point defense turn defends the starport long enough for the new Banshee to get made. That's cool.
Not getting hits he needed. Might just be game.
Oh, the splits are so perfect on that first one, and he focuses fires the other. ByuN is this is the ByuN I wanted to see today.
Yeah. It's funny though, he had 4 disruptors actually. 1 on the Warp Prism and 3 on the front lines. If he was there with his main army like right now, he would have actually taken a great attack. Yeah, but he was focusing on other things.
Yeah, Liberator, Banshee, another Banshee. This is the 5th one this game, and hero's gonna be left with no probes. The Liberator took out so much from the main. This is gonna kill so much in the natural. Hero's going with this attack because it's the only thing he can do. I think he's aware at this point. Macro recovery is not an option. GG. But
I can't believe his Banshees ended up being the best thing that he got.
But then you have to. Okay, here's the thing for me, right? And I don't know because I'm not a pro player. But like after you lose the first 10 probes, you're like, maybe I'll consider putting a cannon down, right? After you lose the next 20, you're like, okay, I'm definitely gonna put a cannon down now, right? But like 40 probes later, and there's no static defense whatsoever. I actually question hero's decision making on that.
Yeah, well, static defense, sure. But I was also thinking like, why not kill a starport? You realize it's in proxy. Well, instead of killing a starport, he tried to be aggressive.
Well, there's that too. The stalkers were there. The point defense and the Raven.
At the end of the game, though, after 4 Banshees had been made.
Right, but he didn't know where that was coming from for a while. Too. Like that's another part of this. That wasn't actually scouted
easy to guess. No, you're absolutely right, but I think it's easy to guess. An adept there seeing the Banshee comes in from the bottom side. Like instead of attacking with the Warp Prism and the Stalkers, either one could have gone to check.
That's true.
But he didn't think you'd make more than 2, because that's usually the number.
Well, folks, we're gonna go to a small commercial break as it's been about half an hour since our last one. Game number 3 comes up. The score is currently 2-1 in the favor of herO. If you're just tuning in, thanks for watching. I'll be back shortly. All right, folks, we are back. I kind of screwed up the timing and things, but that's okay. We are in the map, and you haven't missed anything yet. You're tuning into a best of 7 show match. This is, of course, the Yord Woodwatches show match. You guys can go to woodwatches.com/base if you want to check out the Father's Day deals. You can also get some codes on the Match Arena page, some special one-time only offer, exclusive promo codes to save some cash. So if you are looking to buy one of these watches, I guarantee you it'll be cheaper to do it with those codes than it will be through the website. That being said, the watches are nice, but expensive, and not for everybody. However, they're the perfect Father's Day gift, and that's why they're having a really awesome Father's Day sale. But without them, this show match wouldn't be possible. They seeded the money for it. Match Arena threw in a couple hundred codes, or 100 codes, or I don't really remember at this point. But thanks to you guys, we brought the prize pool now up to $348. Nice. Spawning in the upper right, we do have the red Terran player. However, it is the, I guess, most recent winner in the series. I don't know how to phrase that better. I screwed it up. Bailing on ByuN.
He won the last game. He lost the last game in the bottom left. As the Blue Protoss, it's herO.
You remember one of those moments where you want to defend yourself, but you're like, you know what? That was actually just so dumb. I can't.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
That was one of those moments. As soon as you said he lost the last game, it dawned on me how much I need a thesaurus is what it dawned on me.
I mean, I feel like it's a caster backup, isn't it? Like.
Yeah. You got my back.
This game?
Whatever aside, no proxies coming down though on Proxima Station, so QQ. I don't think ByuN needs to rely on proxies, funny enough though. Like, the timing of the Banshee wasn't nearly as bad as the cloak on it, right? And the constant relentless attack from them could have technically still been staggered out by a regular starport at home. But I was doing more thinking on it, right? And like, just speaking in terms of straight up math, I was talking about like every 10 probes lost, because it was every Banshee that came in killed 10 probes. But realistically, it's only like every 3 probes lost justifies a cannon. So you got to consider how many probes died that game. You could have easily had 2 cannons per mineral line and still come out like cost efficiently ahead. But I don't blame herO, right? Because Banshees are seldom seen in this matchup, and they don't ever do that kind of damage.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like in PvT when the third Banshee comes in or the late Banshee comes in. Like they could realize that, man, had I already gotten a cannon or a turret, rather, it's PvT, I would have been fine. But it's not expected. You think I have to defend with it as lightly as possible and do my own thing, which for herO was trying to attack because hero's an aggressive player. If he had been at home warping in stalkers, getting blink, calmly getting to a third base, those Banshees don't do that much damage, cannon or not. He's fine.
Yeah.
But he's always on the map. He's warping in one stalker at a time. It wasn't gonna work.
Well, so this is coming out really early. Like, stupidly early that I'm like, is this a fast Thor?
That would be shocking.
What
is an Armory Grant nowadays?
That's it? It's a Thor. Okay, so hold on. Before we at this, there's a couple of small details about this that I like, right? One, it's anti-air versus light. So Oracle's Phoenixes come at me, a Thor's going to hold its own, right? But if he's looking to drop this across the map, Thor's had a +1 armor buff, which against most things doesn't matter, but specifically Adepts, the Mothership Core auto attack, and more importantly probes. Probes can no longer surround kill Thors like they could in the past.
Yeah, I mean, because it just is so unexpected, but Thors can be quite tricky to deal with.
Actually,
they're just stupidly buff.
Thinking on this one step further, I'm thinking about anti-air in terms of light. He scans to see what he's up against too. I like this. But if he wants actually transformation mode the Thor, that can snipe the mothership straight up out of the sky.
It's a good point. Yeah, he might actually do that.
I'm really curious to see how he uses this. This is by no means normal. This is in every way possible something unique to ByuN doing this here and now. But I'm excited for it to happen because I think it's going to be really cool if he can make it work.
You reveal it on a probe kill? Can you not? Can you go into the back and snipe the mothership core? Or a stalker? Or a really important pylon? God. Well, it just is going to stand to the front.
I mean, the thing is, it does a lot of damage. That already took a huge chunk out of the Nexus, but of course, the medevac will likely go down. As much as it does deal bonus damage to Phoenix, it still takes a long time to actually kill them. This is
what the complicated for me was okay, yeah, he could kill a bunch of the air units.
The Stalkers and the Adepts can't kill it.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I feel like what you just do is you ignore it.
You're big and slow. Go away.
The Zealot. If it was dropped on the main base, I'd be really worried it killed something important, but it was dropped out here.
The Zealot actually is going to do way more damage to this than anything else in play would have, funny enough.
I don't know. I literally dealt with proxy Thor because of you recently. Cover animation. And I went for Phoenixes too, and I was just like, this is easier than I remember. But I thought ByuN was I don't know what I thought. Actually, it might have been that he thought herO wasn't going for Phoenixes. Maybe that was the simplest answer. He thought an Oracle into 3 bases into charge. Because if it was just an Oracle, then what kills the medevac? And he roams around until more Phoenixes are made. But the Phoenixes were there, they killed it super quickly. I don't know. This is really, it just can't be good, can it?
So, okay, the first Thor was useless and silly. But I do want to point out he's still making them. And I actually do believe there's some merit to this. If you guys don't know, +2 weapons on Thors. Well, it's not against mutas here, can also truck down the Phoenix. And Zealot Phoenix, Adept Phoenix, whatever combination of with Phoenix there are, Terran hasn't really had a great way to deal with them. However, Thors can't be picked up. They will wreck anything in the sky. I actually think it's a really cool addition, even though we've never seen this actually used before.
I mean, it's really being used as part of his army.
We've never seen it used before.
Good one.
No, but I'm really curious to see if this will work. Of course, there's so much here where herO can just sideswipe and not invest in Phoenix. Suddenly the Thors are not so great. But they still bring a lot of damage no matter what they're hitting. Also, good morning, Dare. It's Vohayo. Thank you for the bits.
I would say it was Vohio.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think it's high. I look at this as each individual words.
Hio. Yeah, you might be right. Okay, well. Whatever.
The Immortal. Oh, that thing's not even going to hold up to this. The Oracle is going to get taken out pretty quick, too. The charge lots on the front line. The Thors can tank the damage. Of course, that's something we haven't really talked a whole lot about, but they can. The Force Fields will work against the Zealots in this situation. Thors will tear down that pylon. Phoenix is doing what they can, and the Marines are just running rampant. This is working.
I have no words.
I'm loving it. Like, cue that McDonald's music, guys, because ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I really thought that charge lots on Immortals would be enough. I mean, look! The charges are going to be enough if there were just more of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But the thing is, ByuN still killed the base at the end of the day and actually gets one of the Thors out alive. That thing needs to be repaired up, though. That's pretty damaged. 21 probes on top of this. I mean, like, that was a fantastic attack. Zone Thirds finished up, too, so he's mule that up.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. This is not like a Thors and Imba unit that's making this work for him. So much of this is more like I feel like the Thor could have been 2 barracks that were proxied and landed to be Sim City and the Marines dancing around that. But like the Thor does damage too, which is nice. Catches the Warp Prism. Oh god. But the most beautiful thing to watch through that fight was he was literally dancing around the Thors. Like with the Marines that whole time. It's so cool to see. Takes out the Archons. He kills another Immortal.
I see a world.
GG. He's a madman.
Does that even up the score?
Yep, ties it up 2-2.
Jesus.
I gotta imagine, like, what I was almost gonna say during that game was like after the first Thor died, ByuN types in Korean to herO, "Hey, you know it's a show match, right?" Or something, right? But no, that was like legit. That was actually legit. Somewhere out there, you know, Nathanius is probably having good dreams right now, waking up. So it's like, I don't know why, but I feel great today. I'm gonna send him this replay, and he's gonna be like. But okay, Odyssey coming up on the next map. Yeah, this will be interesting. Of course, we've had a lot of subs, resubs coming in. We've missed a couple here and there, and I do apologize. But thank you to Still Matic for the 24 months, 2 years. Ace TC and Alan 101992 with the Prime sub a little bit later, a little while ago. Laz Lokovacs 420 with 16 months, saying, "Hey, play mech every day." Maybe not quite full on mech, but you know, he's like a Thor deep into it at least.
He's like a Thor out of 10 into it.
That joke was a Thor out of 10.
Well, yours didn't make any sense, so I was just trying to help you. He's a Thor deep. What is that? What is even a pun?
It's not even a pun. He's like just literally like what? Like he only went for Thors. He didn't go for like tanks and cyclones or hellbats. Like
I expect better. All right.
I will try and improve. I'm sorry. Zipserium just subbed for 25 months straight. Welcome back to the stream, and thank you for joining us here as we get into game number 6 of this Yord show match. Again, big thanks to them for sponsoring this. In the top left, it's game 5. Things have been tied up 2-2, and it is going to be the Red Terran player, ByuN.
In the bottom right is the blue Protoss. He is Root herO. Did you ever see that like gif of the Australian newscasters seeing that huge shark?
Probably. I don't know.
They just were all shocked, right? Like they had like their mouth open. They're just like, "Why is there a huge shark? What the fuck?" Like that. I really wish herO had like GG'd after the Nexus died, because I'm pretty sure that's what my face looked like. I was just like, I don't understand.
Just like shocked. You're like, I can't believe this is working. This
what?
is the thing.
Yeah,
okay,
but it really did work well.
Well, to be clear, right, because people are already making jokes. I see this in chat of the cap. It's like, oh, Thor the new meta, cheeky. But I really truly believe in my soul that as cool as the Thor was, so much of that came down to a little bit of the unexpected, right? Like, hero's definitely like, wait, what? I've never seen this unit before. But mostly the Marines and the macro and the control out of ByuN, right? Like, I made a joke about the barracks, but honestly, like, the Thor, well, it did a lot of damage and it soaked a lot of hits. Most of that game was like Marines dancing around it, Marines catching the Archons and the Immortals and killing the Warp Prism so no counterattack could happen. And I can't say that we'll see ByuN do this build over and over and over again, but it would certainly be cool if we saw it more than once.
We'll see. I was just thinking too. It's funny. You never think about breaking force fields as a Terran player. You just give up on the
Oh
idea.
yeah, yep. Thank you. I was gonna get into that too. I forgot about it.
Yeah, but like I was thinking because like I think one of the big problems is that herO just didn't wait. You know, like Pylon's Eye insulated the Thors, the Naxxas Eye circulated the Thors. Yeah, that's true, but he also attacked thinking that like this can't be that good, and he lost a lot of what was his building army. And then suddenly, like not like 30 seconds after that, 7 zealots destroyed the rest of ByuN's army. Just like you wonder what would have happened had he been able to buy time. And it's funny because usually Force was really good at that, but they technically could have been broken by the Thors.
Yeah, I always forget because yeah. You never have anything that can break it as Terran. Thors are never made.
That's obviously ByuN made that build to deal with the really terrible map with force fields.
Can we be cool instead of goofy for once? Can we call it like codename Mjolnir or something like when you go for a build like that? Because I mean, really.
Nope.
Okay, well whatever. Really, like no one's gonna be doing it like enough for us to be using that phrase ever again. But speaking of cool people. And Tabish4 with a Twitch Prime sub. And then Alt or a Lieutenant Cure.
Oh, those are good attempts. A Lieutenant Cure.
Like,
Alt Cure.
Those are both Terran players who want the replay pack that we're sending it to the subs later. That's what that is. I'm going to study this Thor build. I'm going to take this to ladder. And it's not going to work, but I'm going to piss people off with it. Helling's sent up a couple more probes than I expected. Not devastating damage by any means, but still up to about 5, 6. Oh, if he got one more shot off, that would have been 8 kills for those Hellions, and that would have been super juicy.
Yeah. Well, pretty good for Hellions.
Sadly, no Thor was built on the other side of the map this game.
No, not gonna happen. Tanks, though, maybe. Tank push.
Yeah, I was gonna say he swapped off pretty quick, and I was hopeful for a moment this would be mech, but then the 2 barracks came down and ruined my hopes and dreams.
I'm sorry.
It's like having one leg and being told you'll never run a marathon, and you're like, well, duh. Oh, these Widow Mines are pretty good. 6 hits. 6 hits is pretty nice. Whoa, we got some Ninja Star action coming from 47is, our favorite artist ever, FYI. BTTV poster is ready to sell finally, but let's get some Yord sales going. Oh, that's sick, dude. If you got some, I know you had that tweet you posted before. Link that in chat. This guy drew some phenomenal art, guys, and is going to be, I guess, selling some posters for it. I know I'm going to, like, give me a link. I'll be the first one to buy one. I'll buy like 20. Shut up and take my money.
You just have 20 of them pasted on all your walls. It's actually your wallpaper.
But you know what? I would love for us to have some of those to give away. Like, just next time we meet up together. Like, I'll bring some to Toronto or something, right?
Oh, did you see that my mom got Legacy of the Void?
To what?
Okay, so...
Practice to play with her daughter? Like...
Yeah.
Oh, no! Oh, no!
So she can show herO how to dodge Widow Mines.
The worst part is if you just left that there and not actually responded, he would have taken less damage, right?
I know. That's so gross. That's so gross. Okay, well, no, I was going to say, like, because I held up the sign, apparently they just select people at random to give gifts to, the people that make signs.
Oh, my God, herO! I would tap out, too. I would tap out, too. Oh, that was... That wasn't like a depths. That was everything. That was DTs. That was the Warp Prism. That was... ByuN, I'm sure, is just laughing right now. I can see him having a huge smile on his face just like after that game. But, wow. There's a lot more to be said, but we'll play. We'll get the commercial break out of the way, guys. We'll be back in 2 minutes for game number 6. Get closer and closer to the end of this series. It's now match point, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks, we're back. I know it keeps using the BTSL splash screen, but that's just because we're still casting. We just finished casting the BTSL before this. A lot of good games over there, but a lot of good games over here. He is, of course, winning 3-2. He's put his opponent on his very last life. In the top right side of the map, we do have the red Terran player, none other than ByuN.
In the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it is Root's herO.
Now, this is crazy. Like, this is... People are calling reverse sweep. The thing is, herO didn't go up 3-0, but he did go up 2-0. And if we're going to be honest, ByuN looked shaky. I can't describe it any different than that. The first 2 games out of him were not that great. However, this is been dirty trick into dirty trick into dirty trick. And looks like game 6 here is not going to be much different.
There you go. Yeah. Well, herO is maybe still opening 1 base anyways. So he will have the appropriate defenses, and he'll have a scout eventually.
This is a lot longer of a map to scout, though, which is unfortunate. So it's a good thing he is opening 1 base. Otherwise, by the time the probe scouts, I don't know. Oh, he's not scouting, Zombie Grub.
Proxy versus proxy. Okay, well, if ByuN builds his factory in his main base, it's already a lot more helpful. But we'll see. Oh.
Yeah, I think actually, because he did the factory in the main before, right? If he does the factory in the main, Wood of Mines are here, and he doesn't die. However, if he does the factory over here, like it looks like he's edging out to, he'll have literally no defense.
Okay, he's not. He's built at home. So that is just prepping for the starport. That's good. I think this is the safest way to play. I don't know, like, if you're going to proxy a factory after proxying a barracks, I think you're going to be, like, a very aggressive, like, I'm going to win with this push. Whereas this can actually lead into, as you saw in the Blood Bowl game, like, more of a macro game. So, Gumiho will proxy a factory occasionally, but I think ByuN is it safer, more harassments. Already gets probe.
Yeah, he's cornering at that adapt. A couple of these probes are very low, of course. Dancing around this. I will say herO's actually microing this very well. Almost gets the Reaper. But 3 probes die, and that's about what ByuN was expecting. Again, 2 to 4 I think is acceptable.
He should also see something up too. You know, lack of a natural. Well, probably just a lack of a natural. Yeah, he just checks it right now. So he should keep that Cyclone back at home. It's not a win of mine, but it's something against the Oracle.
It may just find itself preoccupied. I was going to block the natural base. He's like, herO, if you planned to macro out of this, I'm going to screw with you even more.
Is he actually going to leave? Oh my god, he gets out. Jesus.
He wants the depot over here, so he's not going to get supply blocked if things die at home. The Oracle can actually take on a Cyclone, which is kind of infuriating to note.
Yeah, but that would at least waste all of his energy, and he has an engineering bay on the way. So either way, you know, it's defending his mineral line, whereas herO gonna have trouble.
I like Blizzard's like number logic here, right? A Cyclone does exactly enough damage to kill an Oracle with lock on, but it takes 14 seconds. So like 14 seconds is a totally acceptable amount of time to clean up an Oracle that attacks every like 0.1 second. Like,
I don't know what to tell you, man. Cyclone's gotta have a weakness.
Yeah, it's actually not. It's not a horrible unit, but it's laughable sometimes. But while probes have been dying, not that many SCVs went down. Not exactly at tit for tat just yet.
Get him. Go! Alright. This Banshee could be bad news again. I mean, he has Oracles and he has Phoenixes, but...
This forces him to take the second base over here that has less mineral patches and 1 gas geyser. This is not going to be a smooth transition. Oracle's also barely not going to see the starport. There we go.
Good check. You get a revelation on that Banshee initially, and the Phoenix takes out so quickly.
I would actually say the Oracle should just focus on the tech lab. Kill the cloak. You won't need revelations.
That's a good point, but I don't know if they'll think about it. It's not something you usually think about.
Well, as long as he handles this and doesn't let it get out of hand. I mean, last time, seriously, it was like 10 probes per Banshee average across 5 Banshees. That should never happen again.
Wait, no, it popped out, herO.
Did he miss this somehow?
Did he?
No, there's an Oracle over here. That's why. Okay.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, cloak's not even done, but... Okay.
Cancel it, actually, I'd say.
I think so. He's hoping at the 3rd and 4th Banshees do as much damage as last time.
Well, he's going to clean up the Stargate that's over here, so herO's not going to get away with this. This has been a weirdly failed proxy on both ends. ByuN got appropriate damage and managed to delay the natural, though, into an appropriate spot, so...
Building another... Are you serious?
He has to run out of revelations eventually.
I mean, that's good logic.
I actually I actually do like the idea of this Banshee circumventing, going a long way, and eventually hitting this base. Because, yeah, if he goes in right away, hero's paying very much attention to everything at home right now. Fast forward a few minutes, and maybe that's not the case. But he's worried about more Banshees, and rightfully so. So he split up both Oracles and Phoenix to look for it. And ByuN is going to manage to dodge both somehow and get... Are you kidding me? You want... How does he do it? He can't keep getting away with it!
Tricks. Now, there's another Banshee in the main base. There's one coming into... That's a Reaper, sorry. There's one coming into the natural. What would have been the natural?
8 kills. Jeez.
He's going to wait for the Phoenix to respond to this, then leave, then move in with the Banshee.
Oh, he doesn't see it.
I mean, that was still a little bit too early, but he's building another Banshee.
He's getting kills with it, right? That's all that really matters, because hero's already down in workers, but it's an undersaturated base that has less mineral patches than average. It doesn't get much worse that in terms of like trying to mine from a base.
Oh, he's gonna kill the starport. It's a good choice.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm sure you're feeling particularly cheeky about this too. But I think that if hero can, he's still in a rough spot. If he brings this back, I'm gonna be most happy for a game 7, no matter what. But at the same time, it is so cool watching ByuN get away with things that I think about all the time, but can never execute myself.
Yeah. I mean, this has delayed his sim and everything else so much, but finally underway here with more barracks, tech labs, and of course, he already built another starport. He did that on Blood Boil too, and he even lost that first starport, so makes sense. And hero's in more trouble. I mean, besides being down workers and someone who has mules and who can use them, he's also just on a bad base.
Oh, I haven't hit the income graph yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be a lot of red.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that feels pretty good for ByuN, but hero is setting up a proxy pylon. He wants to do some warp ins, but unfortunately it'll be near where a Widow Mine is. You know, it'd be great this game, though.
What?
Thor.
This would be great. It'd be perfect spot.
He's actually got quite a bit of bio. Stim not done, though, is the only reason he can't really respond to anything, so he will bleed out anything that's on the map. Banshee got back to the main while we weren't looking. It forces an entire probe line to be pulled, which does save a lot of probes' lives, but still loses the mining. So again, ByuN is killing it, guys.
33
Can you
probes
climb
in total.
Mount Bianaminaro? I mean, look at that crest up there.
I don't think anyone knows any of the mountains in Korea. It's a good enough guess, though.
Right, well, the double cyclone is also really weird to see. It's not really going to serve much purpose at home. He puts on another bunker. He knows an attack's coming, but
He's trying.
these two cyclones, give him a Banshee. Well, I guess he can't anymore. But if you gave these two a Banshee, they would wreck everything. But the two cyclones alone. Well, actually, there's Phoenix and Oracle. I don't know.
It don't even matter. Sam's already done. What are you doing? Like,
Widow Mine hit the Adepts before they even engaged.
this is so bad. This is totally game.
Oh, man. It was really cool watching hero go up 2-0 in the series and make us a little bit worried that this was going to be like a 4-0, but I kind of forgot because it's been a while since we've cast ByuN. He does this, right? He'll go down devastatingly bad in a series only to bring it back. Almost every single time.
That's a good point. You are right about that.
ByuN, whether he realizes or not, he has the soul of a showman.
That is quite a drop. And there are still Phoenixes, aren't there? Oh, it
doesn't matter. GG. I don't know what to say. That was that almost went to game 7. But damn, ByuN is just too good at StarCraft. I'm just sitting here in awe. I don't know if any codes are left, guys. I'm actually gonna go test this, and we'll show you guys really quick on the stream too. So if you ever watch a match arena, whether it's through our events or somebody else's, you can always go here. You log into the top right, hit donate. Our code for this is YORD, for example. If there's any codes available, no, it's been used up. Good job, everybody. Good job. But that's how you would donate with the codes, and someone was asking about showing that off earlier. There's still going to be these rewards. We're actually not going to close this prize pool out because we very much intentionally plan to rebroadcast this at least once today. So whether you're watching this live with us now or later on the rebroadcast, the vodcast, whatever you want to call it, you can get DreamHack tickets at a discount. This is 20% cheaper than the actual website. So if you're planning to go to Atlanta or Denver, check out buying these through Matcherino. You'll still pump up the prize pool. Because we are rebroadcasting this, all of these codes and all of these options will still be available to you, as we will close out the prize pool at the end of day rather than at the end of cast. So !Matcherino, !Yord. Check out the information all found through there. But that concludes the show match, and ByuN, what a badass. He's going to get his pick of one of these watches on the website. He's going to get a good chunk of prize money himself too. So good stuff. Good show. Thank you guys for joining us today. We're going to go to a commercial break and come back and say our final goodbyes, and we'll see you in a few. All right, folks, we're back. Again, thank you for watching today. I do truly hope you enjoyed the show. I think viewership kind of reflected that. This has got to be the craziest viewership we've had in a while. It makes me a little bit skeptical, if we're going to be honest, because it was perhaps too good a viewership for what we're used to seeing. However, again, 2 to 3K the average, 5K is a spike. If that's legit, that's super fucking awesome. If it's not, well, I'm going to guess we still probably had about 2 to 3K at least, because that's what we normally see on each of these casts. But regardless of my paranoia and my skepticism, I'm really glad you guys came out to join us. And we had some really good games for it too. And I'm excited to share these throughout the rest of the day through some vodcasts. But we will be live hosting somebody here. And then about 15 to 20 minutes after that, we'll be vodcasting. So if you missed any of the action from either the BTSL or the Yord show match, we got you. That being said, big thank you again to everybody who contributed today. We actually had a small last-moment donation here. $47ness throws in $15 to the prize pool, bringing the grand total up to $363 for the finish, which is not too shabby. But it's been really awesome. And again, thank you guys for joining us. Replay packs will be sent to the subscribers ASAP. What do we? I think we had something tomorrow originally, and then we had to move it. So I think we have tomorrow off.
We're not casting anything for like 2 days.
Nice. Well, not nice, I guess, because you were hoping to get back on the casting bandwagon. Yeah. Well, you know, we can always make something happen. We just moved the pre-designated events, so ears to the ground, guys. Maybe we'll pop something up, but yeah, next big cast is going to be on Monday. If you enjoyed the format of today's BTSL, the Corsair Cup is going to be following a similar format. Monday's group, so this will be the next thing we're casting, is actually going to be Group A with Nerchio versus Keen and Optimus versus Snoot. All Terran, all Zerg. The other group is Mana versus Bly and Alive versus Showtime, but that happens a little bit closer to the end of the month after we come back from Toronto. And that is the big thing we are leading up to. If you guys are unaware, next Friday, Zombie Up and I will both be in Toronto. We'll be casting a really big tournament, Gameland Invitational, over there. And yes, unfortunately, it's the same days as DreamHack, but it's going to be the different hours. So I do hope to see a lot of you guys joining in. But a lot of people have already reached out to us saying, like, hey, if you're in Toronto, do you want to grab food? Do you want to grab a bite? Do you want to hang out? And the answer to that is, like, yes, I want to do all those things, but I don't know how busy this will be for us because the event could take up a lot of our time. I hope we get time to go hang out with some of the viewers, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, Zombie, you've had a lot of adventures. Have you been uploading, I guess, a lot of... I know you did your apartment video, but do you have any shoutouts, vlogs, etc. to talk about, I guess?
Oh, as always, follow me on Twitter at ZG Gaming. Post pictures and stuff of my adventures. And Instagram as well, zombiegrub_SC, to post more adventures and cat stuff. And YouTube, I'm still uploading all the usual stuff. So tips and tricks, co-op, all that jazz. It's at Zombie Grub, and that's about it. Thanks.
Cool. Of course, follow me on my personal Twitch channel. I've been streaming there a lot more recently, guys. It's usually in smaller spurts because, like, I get exhausted from these casts. But twitch.tv/RIF_KING. I'd appreciate the follow over there. Of course, follow BaseTradeTV if you haven't. Consider subscribing. Hit up our YouTube, youtube.com/BaseTradeTV. And that's about it. The sponsors of this tournament today were, of course, Yord/Twitch. If you really want to get on board with either of those, subscribe to the channel. You get a ton of benefits for subscribing anyways, plus the fact that it helps out our sponsorship with them goes a long way. Corsair Gear down below, and I think that wraps it up. So I'm going to send out replay packs to the subscribers ASAP. Players will be paid out probably tomorrow, and Thank you again, everybody, for joining us. It was a really good day. A lot of good games. Super stoked. And we'll see you on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.